What's up, bitch?
Hello, everybody. My name is Volbill, and I have no face cam on today because my face cam is not working. But today we're going to be doing our Capital One Bowl Mania predictions. And yeah, let's get started. So, the first bowl game is obviously the Cricket Celebration Bowl, which is going to be between two HBCU schools, South Carolina State, Bulldogs versus Prairie View, A&M, and Panthers. There's Prairie View's 10-3. South Carolina State is 9-3. I'm gonna be predicting South Carolina State to win this. The next bowl game is going to be the LA Bowl between Boise State and Washington. And I'm going with Boise State on this one. Next bowl is the Veterans Bowl between Troy and Jacksonville State. Even matchup, but I'm going to go with Troy. Then we got the Cure Bowl between Old Dominion and South Florida. I believe Gaston Morrison is going to have a good game in this year. Plus, I trust South Florida way more than Old Dominion, so I'm going with South Florida. Now, this is one of the bowl games where teams pulled out, mainly due to like coaching hiring, coaches retiring, and all that stuff, or basically in the case of Notre Dame, just don't want to play in a bowl game because you got jilted at the altar, which makes you more like a crybaby. But the 68 Bowl, as I'm calling it, I'm going with Louisiana. No, the Raging Cajuns. The Myrtle Beach Bowl, between two conference champions, I believe. Yeah, two conference champions. And Kennesaw State versus Western Michigan. I'm going with Kennesaw for this one. The Gasparilla Bowl between NC State and Memphis. I'm going with Memphis for this one. Now we get to our college football playoff first round. Alabama versus Oklahoma. I will say this, the only reason that Oklahoma's in there is because of their defense, not because of their offense. Their offense is going to be so bad. But, however, Oklahoma has beaten Alabama once last year at home and this year away. But I think Alabama pulls ahead with this one. Next matchup is Miami versus Texas A&M. It's kind of a coin flip for either or, but I'm going with Texas A&M for this one. Tulane versus Ole Miss. The next two are going to be the easy choices, Ole Miss and Oregon. Not because I hate these two schools. It's mainly because they have no chance in hell winning. If they do win, I will laugh at Oregon forever. Next matchup is the Potato Bowl between Washington State and Utah State. I'm going with Washington State on this one. Boca Raton Bowl, Toledo versus Louisville. New Orleans Bowl, Western Kentucky versus Southern Miss. I'm going with Western Kentucky on this one. And now we have the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl between Ohio and UNLV. I'm going with UNLV for that one. The Hawaii Bowl between Cal and Hawaii. I'm going with Hawaii because home field advantage for them. Next up is the game above the Sports Bowl between Northwestern and Central Michigan. I'm going with Central Michigan on that one. The Rape Bowl between New Mexico and Minnesota. Going with Minnesota. First Responders Bowl. This is going to be a house divided for one of my friends down in San Antonio since he lives in Miami and his girlfriend's a Roadrunner. I'm going with FIU for this one. Then we have the Military Bowl between Pittsburgh and Mr. Beast University. I'm going with Pittsburgh on that one. Then we have the Battle of Mid at Yankee Stadium. It's so obvious Clemson's going to win because Penn State, they were national champions or bust. And they just fell off hard on a cliff. Pretty bad. Yeah. Next up is the Fenway Bowl between UConn and Army. I'm going with UConn in this one. And now it's time for everybody's favorite game, the Pop-Tart Bowl. This was supposed to be Notre Dame, but Notre Dame pulled out and decided, fuck it. Replace them with Georgia Tech. Power of Dan will never compel the Mormon. I'm going with BYU. I forgot to lock in the UConn there. Next up is the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl, which winner gets a giant blunt between Miami of Ohio and Fresno State. I'm going with Fresno State. Next matchup is the New Mexico Bowl between North Texas and San Diego State. I'm going with North Texas. Sorry, gotta get a drink. The Tax Slayer Gator Bowl, Virginia versus Mizzou. I'm going with Mizzou on this one. The Texas Bowl between LSU and Houston. Houston's going to win that game. Birmingham Bowl between Georgia State, not Georgia State, Georgia Southern, my bad, and App State. App State's only here because of pullouts. Going with Georgia Southern. The Independence Bowl between, this is a blatant home game. I'm going with Louisiana Tech. Especially I love the Chanticleers. They just fired their head coach. Now we get to the Music City Liberty Bowl. Liberty Mutual Music City Bowl. Where a bunch of fuckery happens at this game. With the infamous 2010 taking a penalty and stuff. And as well as no forward progress in 2021. But I do believe Josh Heupel has the boys in gear here, and his offense will show out, and Joey Aguilar will ball out. I don't trust Illinois' offense. Their defense might be a good test for Aguilar, but who knows. Next up is the Alamo Bowl between University of Spoiled Cunts and TCU. USC's going to win. The Rewind Quest Hess Bowl, or as I call it, the Tampa Bowl, between Iowa and Vanderbilt. And Diego Pavia is going to run all over them. I'm going with Vanderbilt. Next match is the Sun Bowl between Arizona State and ACC champion Duke. Sam Levy, Arizona State's QB, is going to be transferring I don't know how to gauge Duke. I'm going to go with Arizona State. Next matchup is Michigan versus Texas. I believe Texas is going to rip Michigan apart, mainly because Michigan's fired their head coach, and I just think morale is that bad for Michigan. Next matchup is the Las Vegas Bowl between Nebraska and Utah. Again, I do think the Utah Utes will win. Before we go to the quarterfinal games, let's just get rid of all the other games. The Lucky Martin Armed Forces Bowl between Rice and Texas State. Texas State because they have a better record and because, well, it's Rice. The Owls aren't going to do jack diddly dang think about anything other than produce tech smart people. Liberty Bowl between Navy and Cincinnati. I believe it's going to be Navy all the way for that one. The Duke Mayo Bowl between Wake Forest and Mississippi State. I'm going with the upset. I'm going with Mississippi State for this one, as well as the Holiday Bowl between Arizona State and SMU. I'm going with Arizona. Not Arizona State, Arizona. My bad. Now we get to the winner of Texas A&M Miami versus Ohio State. It's gonna be tough if Texas. Gonna be a tough opponent for Texas A&M, but I don't think they get over the hump. I think Ohio State wins. Oregon and Texas Tech. Heck, I do believe Oregon has a good chance of beating Texas Tech. However, the magic of Patrick Mahomes will compel Texas Tech to victory. I'm going with the Red Raiders. Next up is the Rose Bowl between, I believe, Alabama versus Indiana. This is where we're going to have our first upset. I like Cincinnati as a coach. I think he's legit. However, this is Alabama we're talking about. Alabama is like that cockroach. Like it's right there. You try to kill it. You stomp on it. You crushed it. You destroyed it. But yet they keep coming back. And there's nothing you can do about it. I'm going with Alabama. Ole Miss versus Georgia. Georgia's going to win. I think Tulane's going to take a little chunk out of Ole Miss, and Ole Miss is going to be limping against Georgia. Next match, the winner of the Sugar Bowl, which I believe is Georgia and Ohio State. I'm going with Georgia. I believe Georgia on this one. And the winner of the Orange Bowl and the Rose Bowl. It's hard to gauge, but I'm going with Texas Tech. And finally, the national championship, I picked is Georgia versus Texas Tech. I'm going with Georgia for this one. And apparently I missed out a pick. Oh yeah, Minnesota. And that was about to do it. See you guys.